Hi students, this is Tanvi from Oliveboard and I welcome you all to PYQ topic series. So today I am going to discuss a very important question of your previous year question, which is a puzzle, and it is a linear puzzle and where you have three parallel rows. So when this question came in your exam, students were shocked to see that what is this, right? So now if you get this question after this session, you will not be shocked because you will know the technique to solve such questions, right? So before starting the session, we pledge for your success. Okay, so here is this question. I want you all to read it first. Okay, I want you to take around 2 minutes to read this question. So what's there in this question? First you have that there are three horizontally parallel rows, that is row 1, row 2 and row 3. Row 1 is north of row 2. So this is your row 1, okay, which is north of row 2. Row 2 which is north of row 3, okay, and then 5 persons sit on row 1 facing south. Okay, now he is saying that 5 persons who are sitting in row 1, they are facing south. Okay, next you have that 5 persons, after these 5 persons sit in row 3 facing north. And 10 persons sit in row 2 such that first 5 persons face north while rest of the 5 persons face south. Okay. Then you have that person who sits in row 1 and row 3 face the persons who sit on row 2. Okay, so how are we going to make the diagram first? Okay, so first row have 5 persons, second row have 10 persons, and in second row 5 persons are facing north, so that persons sitting in first and second row should be facing each other, and rest 5 persons are facing south, and the persons sitting in row 3rd, they are facing north, such that persons sitting in row 3rd, they are facing the persons sitting in row 2. So this is the whole layout of this question, right? Like here in the first row 5 persons are facing south, then first 5 persons of second row are facing north and last 5 are facing south, okay, and then 5 persons are facing north. So this is how you have to make this diagram, okay. Now the problem that comes here is that now let's see the next line, that the distance between each of the adjacent persons in the row is same and no seat is vacant. K, X, C and F, they are some of the persons sitting on the seat. So these are some names, okay. Now obviously there will be how many persons? There will be 20 persons. 10 persons are in row 2, 5 persons in row 1 and 5 persons in row 3. Okay, so if you check out this paragraph, there is hardly any information which is with reference to row number. Like if he is going to tell me some information that this person is sitting in row 1 or row 2, row 3, so that would be easy for us to start. But here there is no such information with which I can certainly mark any person on a particular row. So what are we going to do now? So let's see this information, that B faces the person who sits third to right of G. Okay, so B faces the person who sits third to right of G. Okay, right. Next, let's see if there is any other information about I or G. Okay, so here you have that one person sits between G and E. So it is just one person who is sitting between G and E. So that means in this row where G is sitting, E will be sitting, right? Next you have this information that O sits to the immediate left of Z who faces E. That O sits to the immediate left of Z who faces E. Now Z faces E. So with this we understand that B is facing the row where G and E are sitting and E is facing the row where Z is sitting. So this clears the information that B will be in first row, G and E will be in the second row and Z will be in third row. Okay. Now here you have one more information that neither Y nor O sits at any of the extreme ends. Okay. So Y and O are not sitting at extreme end. Okay. So from this Z you have some information. Like in the row of Z, O is sitting. So that means O is sitting in third row. So in third row, he is saying that neither Y nor O sits at any extreme ends. So you must be thinking that how to solve this. Right. What are we going to do now? See, in this question, if you are going to write about O, because as I can see in the whole question, name of O comes many times. So it would be better to start our question with the person O, because there is no certain information here. So as I can see, O is written here. Then here is some information about O. And then here is some information about O. So there are lot of informations about the person O. So it would be better to start solving this question with the person O. Now O have three possibilities. O can be written on this position or this position or this position. Just because O cannot be written at end of the row. Okay, so till now I was just telling you the whole information. Now we are going to solve this. Okay, but before solving this question, I want you all to take a pic of this question, because I'll be moving on the next slide and there you won't be able to see this information. Okay, because to make the solution for this question I need a lot of space, right? So I'll be solving in the next slide. I want you all to take a photograph of this question so that you can refer to the question while I make the solution. Okay, so I hope you have taken the photo, right? So now let's move on to the next slide. So what I'm going to do, see, I'm going to make three possibilities. Now this will be your first possibility. Okay. Okay. I just happened to delete all by mistake. Now this is your first possibility. And now let's make the second row, similar kind of row. So that's why I'm making the solution here, because it will not be possible to make it with the question. So that's why I told you to take a pic. Okay. So here I'll have to make three possibilities, because as you know, O can come here or here or here. So there are three doubts about O. So don't worry, because when you make three possibilities, one of the possibilities gets cancelled very soon. Okay. So it's just we panic. But if you're not going to panic, you are going to make a move of making the possibilities, you will definitely solve the question. Okay. So what we have to do here? Now O can either come on this position, or O can come on this position, or O can come on this position. Now let's check what is the information about O. So he's telling you that about O, that O sits to the immediate left of Z. So O sits now north facing left and right and south facing left and right. So O sits immediate left of Z. Now O is sitting in third row, which is north facing, and O sits on the left of Z, and opposite to Z will be E. Okay, Z who faces E. So let's make this O Z opposite E. In the second possibility, O next is Z, opposite will be E. And in the third possibility, O, here Z, and opposite will be E. Okay, so now let's check. So I'll keep on moving slides further and backward for you to easily understand. Okay, any other information about O? That two persons sit between I and the person who faces O. Okay, there are two persons who sit between I and the person who faces O. So that means the person who faces O, okay, and there are two persons between these two people, that is I and the person who faces O. And there is one more information, that I does not sit at any of the extreme ends. Okay, so now let's check this. Opposite to O is this position, and leaving two positions I have to make it I, but here I cannot write I because I cannot come and on the end. So in the first possibility, now this is your first possibility, this is your second. In the first possibility, I will be written on this position. In the second possibility, leaving two positions after E, I will be written here. Okay, leaving two possibilities, I will be written here. Okay, and in the third case, because the question demands that there are, I think, how many persons? There are two persons between, who sits between I and the person who faces O. Okay, so if there are three persons between I and the person who faces O, so that means in the first possibility, I think I have marked this wrong. Let me correct I. So the information is I and the person who faces O. So this is the person who faces O. So leaving two positions, I will be written here. Okay, in second possibility, the person who faces O is this, and leaving two positions, I will be written here. Okay, so these are the two possibilities about I. Okay, now next what we are going to do? We are going to fill this in the third possibility. So here the person who faces O, we have to leave two positions, and hence I will be written here. Okay, so these are the informations that we can use about. Now we have solved about I, E, O, Z. Now let's see if there is any other information. We are done with I, E, O, Z. So what is any other information? So here we have person who sits to the immediate right of I faces D. Okay, now the person, now if I is facing north, the person who sits immediate right of I faces D. This is what it means. So the person who faces immediate right of I faces D. So in first possibility, D will come here. Now the person who faces immediate right of I faces D. So in second possibility, D will come here. And in the third possibility, immediate right of I faces D. So immediate right of I. Okay, he's saying immediate right of I. So immediate right of I, this person faces D. Okay, I hope this is clear. Right? Okay, so next information that we have, that so what is another information? We have solved this D. Okay, any other information about these people? Let's see. So here we have that one person sits between G and E. There is just one person who is going to sit between G and E. So here we have E. In the second possibility, G can be written here. In the first possibility, G can be written on these two positions. And in the third possibility, G can be written here. Okay, right. So this is the information about G and E. Okay. So now next what we can use. So here we have that B faces the person who sits third to right of G. So here we are just linking all the informations. What was to be done in this question? You have to make three possibilities. That was the bold step that you have to take here. Otherwise, after that, the information is getting linked. So now we are going to pick this line that B faces the person who sits third to right of G. So with this, we are going to position B. So third to right of G, where is now here in the second possibility, third to right of G, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so B faces this person. Here B will come. Okay, now third to right of G he is saying. Okay, so if I take G on this position, so third to right will be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so opposite this O is sitting. I will not be able to write B in the first possibility because here it is O. I cannot write B here. That means G will be written here. So doubt has been sorted that G will be written on this position. Okay. And the information was that B faces the person who sits third to right. So third to right of G means 1, 2, 3. So opposite here it will be B. Okay. And in the third possibility, so third to right of G, so 1, 2, 3. This is third to right of G and opposite it is D. So I cannot write B here. So that means this possibility is wrong. Okay, so that's why third possibility has been excluded because this information cannot be filled here. Now we are going to use just first and second possibility. Okay, so now what's other information that we have? So we have solved BDIGEOZ. Okay, BDIEOGZ. This is all what we have done till now. Okay, so here there is some information about N, I think. Okay, there is some information. Let's see what else we can use. Here we have this information that D faces the person who sits third to right of A. So now we should pick this line that D faces the person who sits third to right of A. Now D faces the person. Okay, D faces the person who sits third to right of A, means leaving two positions. So if I leave two positions towards right, it is E. So towards left, I am going to leave two positions. So D faces the person who sits third to right of A. That means A will be written here. And according to facing right of A comes towards the person who is opposite to D. Now if I check the second possibility, D faces the person. Now this is that position who sits third to right of A. So 1, 2, 3. So here I should be writing A. Okay. So with this we have solved A. Okay. Right. So now let's move on to the any other information. What was that? A. So we have solved A. Okay, so here we have this line about A, that person who faces A sits to the immediate left of N. That the person who faces A sits immediate left of N. So the person who faces A, this person sits immediate left of N. So N should be sitting here. And in other case, the person who faces A sits immediate left of N. So N should be sitting here. So we have solved N. Okay, we have solved this N. Right? Okay, any other information about N? Let's see if there is any other information. Okay, so now what we should be doing? See, now just see your solution. Here, they have given you the whole solution. Now, there is this information about immediate, that L sits to the immediate right of J. So what we understand here that L and J should be sitting together, but we have not yet solved L and J. So here in the second possibility, if you see the vacant positions, these three are vacant in first row. So I won't be able to write L and J because I need immediate two positions. Okay. Now in second row, Here I cannot write L and J, here I cannot write L and J, here I cannot write L and J. So L and J can be written only on these two positions. Okay, so it's just these two positions where I can write L and J. Okay, so what is the information about L and J? Okay. So about L and J, he was telling you that L sits immediate right of J. So if L sits immediate right of J, then J will be here and L will be just immediate right of J. Okay, so this is how we are going to fill this L and J. Right. Okay, so now let's see if there's any other information. Q sits to the immediate left of Y. Now there is one more information that Q sits immediate left of Y. So I cannot write this information in second possibility because all the positions that have been left in second possibility, there is no two positions which are immediate together. Okay, so this line that Q sits to the immediate left of Y, I cannot fill here. I cannot fill this information in second possibility. That means the second possibility is also wrong because I am not able to fill Q and Y, and hence we are left with just first possibility and we have to complete just this possibility. So here what we understand, these two positions are immediate and these two positions are immediate. So here we are going to understand that where we can fill all this. Okay, because here we have those two statements. What are those two statements? These are the two statements. Let me mark that Q sits to the immediate left of Y. One, we have to consider this. And L sits to the immediate right of J. Okay, so if you see here that there is some information that P faces south and only one person sits between Y and P who faces south. So I am going to use these three informations now. Okay, so if P is facing south and one person sits between Y and P, so where can we write Y and P? Let's see. Okay, so where can we write Y and P? So Y faces south. Okay, now this is a north facing row. That means Y will be sitting in second row, in the middle row. And what is the information about Y? That Q sits immediate left of Y. So Q sits immediate left of Y, then Q will be sitting here, Y will be sitting here, and there is one person between Y and P. So we are going to write P on this position. Okay. Next, what was the information? That L sits immediate right of J. So if L sits immediate right of J, here I should be writing J and here I should be writing L. Now as you can see, we are near to completion of the solution. Okay. So let's see what else we can use now. Okay. So let's see what are the names that have been left. So let's mark those names. I'm going to change the color of the ink. So what are the names we are left with? Just see the pick of the question. It is K that you have not yet solved. Okay, it is F, it is, I think, H, yeah, it is M, then it is X and it is C. So these are the 5 names and you are left with 5 positions in your question. So now let's see what else can be used. Okay, so here you have this information that one person sits between H and M. So can you solve this? That one person sits between H and M. So where can we write H and M? Okay, we have some reference here that he's saying that neither X nor C faces north. Okay, neither X nor C faces north and neither H nor F sits at extreme end. Now if H is not sitting at extreme end, okay, H is not sitting at extreme end, so I cannot write H here, I cannot write H here. Okay, and I have to write one person between, it was I think H and M. Okay, so what we can do now, where can we fill H now? This we have to see. Okay, neither Y nor O sits at extreme end. Now Y and O we have done. Okay. And there is one person who sits between H and M. This also we have to follow. So X and C faces south. So with this, what we understand that X and C faces south. So in south facing row, what are the south facing rows? Now in the middle row, last 5 positions have been occupied. So that means X and C will be coming on this position and this position, because X and C faces south. He is already telling you that neither X nor C faces north. That means X and C faces south. So this is happening in first row. This can be filled in first row. So that means X and C will be written on the first row. Okay, there is one more information now about H, that H cannot be written on the extreme end. So H can be written here or here. And there is another information that one person sits between H and M. Okay, there is just one person who is sitting between H and M. So with this, we understand that we are going to write H here, okay, and M will be written here, so that we are going to write F on this position, okay, because F is not sitting at extreme end. So this is how we are going to solve this. And now we are left with just one name, which is K. So here I should be writing K, and with this your solution is complete. Now I want to tell you that this question actually came in your exam, and almost all the students skipped this question because this was something new for all the students. But now, as we have discussed the method, the technique to solve such questions, now if this question is going to come in your exam now, you could solve this. Okay, so it's just that you have to understand the technique, and see, there was nothing new here. The same procedure we were following, like what we were doing, we were linking. Like if I have solved X and C, then I'm going to search any other information about X and C and going to link it with my solution. Okay, so this is what we are going to do here. Okay, but only bold step that you all people had to take here was making 3 possibilities. That was the only bold step that you all have to make, because you people avoid making possibilities, and in this kind of question you people always avoid making possibilities, but you have to do. Okay, this is right that this question is not that kind of question that it will be solved in 2 or 3 minutes. Obviously this question is going to take around 6, 7 or maximum 8 minutes to solve this. Okay, but maximum 8 minutes is sufficient, but it should not be more than that. It should not be more than 8 minutes for this question, because if they are going to give you this question, obviously the questions that will be based on this information will be around 6 to 7. They will be around 6 to 7 questions. Okay, it will not be just 5 questions. So if you are spending 8 minutes, that means you are solving 6 to 7 questions. And for such questions, sometimes they are going to give you the weightage of 1.5 marks for a single question. So now you must have understood how we are going to solve 3 parallel lines in a row. Okay, so with this, we are done with the discussion on this topic of 3 parallel lines. Now you can try the same question again, okay, because in this session you were just listening. Now I want you all to try this question yourself, and then you are going to try all other practice questions of 3 parallel rows. Thank you so much, students. Goodbye.